This edition of MacVoices is sponsored by Casper, the makers of obsessively engineered mattresses at shockingly low prices. Take $50 off your very own Casper mattress by visiting casper.com/MacVoices and using the code MacVoices. And by MacVoices Magazine, our free Flipboard magazine that brings you some of the best Mac, iPhone, and iPad productivity tips on the web. High in signal, low in noise, just like MacVoices, MacVoices Magazine includes information on how you can get more out of your Apple technology. Subscribe at macvoices.com/magazine or search for MacVoices Magazine on Flipboard. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices, the talk of the Mac community. Folks, this time we have the team from Smile back with us to talk about a new product upgrade, a new full point version upgrade. First up, we have Maia Olson back with us. Maia, it's great to have you back again.
Thank you for having us back, Chuck.
It's always a pleasure, and I'm glad to have you back so soon. You're becoming a regular here.
Hopefully.
I like it. And a gentleman we haven't seen for entirely too long, Mr. Philip Goward. Philip, it's great to have you back. Where have you been? It's been way too long.
I've been here working away, Chuck, and it's great to be back on the show. It's good to see you.
Well, I'm so glad you got the ball and chain off your ankle that you actually get out for pizza and show up here.
No, actually, it's still on my ankle.
It is. Okay. They just slide the pizza under the door. I see.
That works.
Yeah. Well, this time I'm excited because as I make no bones about it, you all manufacture products that I use daily, sometimes hourly, depending on which product we're talking about. This time we're talking about a full point upgrade to PDFpen, to PDFpen 8 for the Mac, obviously. And so what's new in PDFpen 8? Because anytime you all do a full point upgrade, it means there are at least 2 or 3 very cool, new, very powerful features. So what's new?
Well, we have a decent array of new features. I'd say it's, if you are a person who doesn't really use PDFs alone, but use them sort of in the world, then there's a bunch of great features for you. So like digital signatures and file attachments are usually used in business. And so if you find yourself in a situation like that, then version 8 will be great in helping you out.
Okay, so digital signatures, we want to get back to that some, but Philip, from what I saw too in the posting on the Smile blog, that now we have some new offline exporting capabilities. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. We have moved the Microsoft Word and Excel export to be within product. In previous versions, it required a web service, so your document would go online briefly before it was translated online, and then the results shipped down. And now that's all done in product, so you don't need a web connection to do it.
That, to me, is rather exciting. First, from a lot of standpoints, not the least of which is privacy, because all of a sudden everything is about privacy, right? But that also speaks to a lot of technical expertise, and I guess I have to ask, what kind of Mac do I have to accomplish that? Isn't that a fairly power-intensive thing?
Not really. I mean, the same Mac you had before. I mean, the ability we have used to be able to make that happen is a library which is provided by one of our partners, Nuance, and it's that library that has gone being embedded into the product rather than being a remote service. So it's very cool that we can now do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it means that, especially if I'm traveling now, I can do it on my Mac instead of having to worry about, am I connected to the cloud to accomplish that kind of transfer?
Yeah, and certainly for legal and government uses, there are some cases where they couldn't use it online just simply because of those security and privacy requirements, and now they can.
At the risk of taking us too far off track, how much of that kind of thing is factoring into the way you all develop products, PDFpen as well as anything else, that all of a sudden the cloud is our friend, but the cloud is also now a risk factor? And Philip, you said it so well. When it comes to governmental work, sometimes the wrong or the right kind of corporate work, that we have to be so paranoid about some of this at this stage.
Well, definitely there's a little bit of paranoia sometimes about cloud services. I mean, we hear, and also any online service. I mean, online retailers and stuff. And we had a Target thing the other year. I mean, it's going to be a different one hit each year, and usually a big, high-profile one. But I think a bigger issue to be aware of is that really any computer you connect online is potentially insecure. I mean, as long as there's a connection to your computer going from online, somebody could potentially access your documents. And I say potentially in big inverted commas. I mean, it really depends on the operating system, whether you use firewalls, all sorts of stuff like that, as to how secure your system is. But can we ever believe anything's 100% secure? Probably not.
Oh, gee, that's a nice thought. Thanks.
Wait, being realistic.
Wait, I'll go lock my door. Yeah, I think that goes kind of without saying at this stage that if you're connected, then there is a potential threat. I think we go back to the whole discussion of just how much of a target are any one of us. But on the other hand, if you're doing that corporate work or that governmental work, you have to follow through on their requirements, because you sure don't want to be responsible for what could happen, even though it probably won't. It could.
Right. I think it's absolutely true, and it's great to now have a product which lets them use it for the word translation, because it was a big question often asked in the previous version of the product, and so it's great now that we have a solution for workers with those issues in mind.
I know that previous versions would do exporting to Excel as well. Does this change any of that capability at this point?
Excel is also done offline. You don't need an internet connection for it, so it just happens locally on your computer. If your PowerPoint export or PDFA export still require an internet connection, and are done by an online service for us. Okay.
Maia, let's go back to the digital signature thing. I'm going to ask you to dig in a little more to that. This is something that, in my personal experience, I see being used a lot more in business by industries that aren't on the cutting edge by any means. Their digital signatures are finally getting in there and being maybe not widely used, but more frequently used.
So I'd like to take a small step back, since I'm not sure everyone knows what we are talking about when we say digital signatures. So the type of signatures that PDFpen did before, where basically you draw a picture of your signature on the document, that's basically just a picture of your signature. That's not a real digital signature. So a digital signature requires getting a certificate and then running a PDF through that certificate. It's this whole process. And then the security of that signature is based on the level of trust you would have in that certificate, so clearly this is a much more involved process than just having a picture of signing your name. And so that's what we're supporting in version 8, that whole process.
Now, is this one of those situations where I'm setting up my own signature, or are you working with some of the third-party services out there that already have signatures and have an infrastructure in place?
You bring your own signature, and we just support adding the signature to the document and validating other documents that have been signed. So in order to get a signature, in case you're curious, you will have to go to a signature providing service. I believe if you want the signature to be trusted by Adobe PDF reading products, then they have their own list of certificate providers that you can choose from. The AATL, Adobe.
That's right.
Trusted list. And so you can then go purchase a certificate to use there. So a certificate ends up being almost like a physical digital thing. Like sometimes you actually get a physical USB that you plug into your computer, and that's where the certificate is securely stored, and then you have to keep that one with you at all times. So that's getting pretty to me, that seems pretty physical sort of security. And if you don't want to go through that and purchase that, you could try just making your own self-signed certificate is what it's called. So you can do that in PDFpen or Pro, where you just basically make a certificate where you promise that you are who you say you are. And then it's up to the person who receives that signed document to choose to believe or not believe the certificate you created.
Okay. So,
sort of a lot going on.
Well, yeah, there's a lot going on, and Joe Kissel has been on the show talking about the dongle thing, through the lens of two-factor authentication. But so this is kind of in that realm. But I'm not quite sure. So if I sign something with my certificate, no, scratch that. If I get a certificate from a third party, and and I send it to Philip, and so Philip can be assured that it is me who signed it. How is that? But that's my certificate. So how can I be assured that when Philip signs it and sends it back to me, that I know it's him?
Well, there are two ways to do that. I could have purchased a certificate too and signed it again with my own certificate, and then you could be assured it was me and it was from one of the trusted authorities. Basically, the whole idea of trust, I think, is interesting with these certificates because, as Maia pointed out, I could assign it with a self-signed certificate. I could make my own certificate and sign it with that and send it to you. You probably have a sense that the document really came from me because it's from my email address. You're expecting it. You could give me a call and say, did you send that document? And you can probably say, yeah, it was probably me that signed that thing, and I will trust that certificate. And if you do that, then when I send you documents in the future which are self-signed, that certificate will remain trusted in future, and the documents will all look like they're trusted, and you'll have a good sense that from me. Now, with a certificate you purchase, the difference is that you will have to prove who you are to this authority that you're purchasing from. And they might check us with a few phone calls. They would like some proof of ID. You have to have stuff certified to say you're who you are, and eventually once you've gone through the certification proof process, they will issue the certificate saying, we have a good degree, we know who you are, so here's your certificate. And that's really
you said there was a notary involved also.
Yeah, there's a notary involved as well, and they check the notarized stuff. So if you believe that that process for validating a person is who they are is good enough, then you can believe that certificate. But if you don't believe that process is good enough, then you might not even believe that certificate. And so I'm just trying to give you an idea of how much it's all based on trust in some ways. But what having a signed document will do, though, is you will know that since the document was signed, it has not been changed. Because if a document gets changed later, the signing is no longer valid and shows up as invalid. And that's kind of nice to know. You like to know a document was signed and then not modified.
Okay, thank you. That helps a bit. But now, when I get the document back, what you say it's signed, it shows up as what, invalidated? Was that the correct phrase?
If I had modified a document and not re-signed it, it will come back as modified. Yes. Okay.
Now, how do I know that it's been modified? Is there a big red modified stamp across it, or?
There's a little.
Basically.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, really?
It's not quite processed. It's just in the upper corner and shows as like a corner folding tab or something like that to show you that it's been modified. But it'll tell you.
Yeah. So the different levels of validation of the certificates, we've represented that in PDFpen with just a little colored badge in the corner of the document. So if you get a good signed document, the certificate's okay, everything's good, then it'll be green. It'll have a little check. And if it doesn't pass those tests, and if it's been changed, then it'll have a red X in the corner. For the self-signed certificate, you won't necessarily be able to prove who signed it because you're just trusting that it is who it said it is, but it will verify that it hasn't been changed. So then you get a little yellow sort of intermediate caution level. So you'll be able to see based on the color what level of trust you should have in the signature.
This edition of MacVoices is sponsored by Casper, the makers of obsessively engineered mattresses at shockingly low prices. I'm excited to welcome back Casper as an active sponsor of MacVoices because I have a whole lot of personal experience with their products. I sleep on a Casper mattress and have been for some time, and I can tell you that everything they say about Casper mattresses is true. Casper mattresses combine a hybrid of latex foam and memory foam to deliver just the right sink and just the right bounce. Those are technical mattress terms that translate into not too hard, not too soft, just right. But Casper isn't just a great mattress. It's a great buying experience as well. You don't have to go to a store somewhere, lay down on a mattress fully clothed, and try to decide in 2 minutes if it's right for you. Order your Casper mattress right now, and in a few days it will show up on your doorstep thanks to their free delivery. A quick unpacking process that can best be described as fun, and you're ready for your 100-day trial period. Yes, that's 100 days, over 3 months to try your Casper mattress in your home. Let's see. By my calculations, that's 144,000 minutes for you to try Casper mattress in your home versus 2 minutes at the local mattress store. Seems like a no-brainer. You can get an American-made twin-sized mattress for $500, all the way up to an American-made king-sized mattress for $950. I'll let you compare that to the mattress store prices. Before you do, though, you better do some extra math, because you can take $50 off your Casper purchase by visiting casper.com/MacVoices. That's $50 off a twin, full, queen, or king-size Casper mattress by visiting casper.com/MacVoices and using the code MacVoices. Join me and all the MacVoices viewers and listeners who sleep on a Casper mattress and sleep well for $50 less by going to casper.com/MacVoices and using the coupon code MacVoices. It might be one of the best decisions you make all year. Welcome back, and thanks to Casper as a sponsor of MacVoices. I realize we're kind of in the weeds here a bit, but I think this is important since it's a major new feature. But it also kind of speaks to the very core of PDFpen, that you're taking something that allegedly, when it was created, was supposed to be basically immutable, and now you can edit and play with it and work with it, much like you might a Word document alone. And of course, by the very nature of a Word document, that's going to be easily editable with, depending on who has change tracking turned on and off, things can get modified there. You'll never know it. So here you have that assurance that if you want to know if somebody went in and changed paragraph 735, that you will be able to know that.
Yeah, you'll get a sense at least that they changed something. You may have to hunt a bit to find what they changed, but you will know they changed it.
What are the options, Philip, for maybe doing that hunting? Do you provide anything of that nature that this is...
Not really, no, not at this stage.
Okay. All right, so we had
that sounds like a feature request.
we have had it as a feature request, actually, but I mean, you can't really hunt for changes because PDFs don't necessarily keep a log of textual changes in documents. They keep annotation level changes. But you could potentially do differencing of one document with another, perhaps.
Yeah, my first thought was, okay, if I don't have that, I could export both versions to Word and then use some of the comparison utilities out there to...
You could do exactly that, yeah. I mean, if you were looking at a contract, that would be the quick and easy way to do it.
Okay, so I think we've got a handle on all the document signing stuff. I think, do we? Have I missed anything?
No, that's accurate.
Okay. I'll go just a little farther, though. I should have asked this before. So I decide today I want to go to that list, Maia, and get my very own certificate. From the description Philip gave, it's going to take a little while to do that. What's it going to cost me in cash?
Actually, I should answer that question because I've been experimenting with some providers. But I've found different vendors, but I think you can assume approaching $400 is about it to get a certificate, and it's like $330 to $400, depending on what you're after. And I plan to write a blog post this week with my experiences that were involved in getting a certificate and what the costs were and what you got.
So, and folks, that means that by the time this comes out, there's a pretty good chance Philip will have already authored that, and I'll make sure there's a link in the show notes. Or if not, as it comes out, as soon as he writes it and it's published, then I'll put the link in the show notes after the fact. So $330 to $400. What's your sense of about how long it takes, Philip?
Depends on the vendor and the speed at which you can get stuff done, but anything from a week to a month, I think.
Okay. So this is not going to be something that you're just going to casually decide, oh, I think I'll get a certificate. No,
this is probably going to be required by your job. And I'm expecting that people most excited about this have already had it as a requirement, and they're looking for things that can do this for them.
Yeah, it's not a casual thing to get a certificate. You would probably only do it if you needed it.
But as we discussed earlier, I can create my own certificate that says I'm me. And then I'm sure that if we had an attorney sitting here as the fourth member of the panel, they would explain how much liability I've just assumed for myself.
Probably, but it's probably no more than the liability you've assumed for yourself by sending anyone any document that they were supposed to read.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, because I have taken that extra step of trying to use the certificate feature. I don't know. If there are any attorneys out there, let us know. Okay, so let's see. What any other new features? We dug into that one quite a bit for obviously good reasons. What else do we have in PDFpen
8? File attachments. So let's say you want to attach an audio file. You can actually have an audio note, and you'd have a little icon, and you can add it to the document so someone can just click on it and then hear your note, or you can listen to a note that somebody else has sent you. And then there's file attachments of basically any type of file. I believe it's fully anything. Like, it doesn't have to be a PDF file, but you can attach it to the PDF, and that'll help you when you have maybe a paragraph that references another document, and so you want to just attach it right there so people know immediately what it is that you're talking about. And so you can have little annotations, so little visual cues, and position them wherever you need in the PDF to let people know which attachments that they need to reference.
Video?
You could put a video attachment in there too. It will take any file.
Okay. So, all right. So I've created my PDF, and I've embedded my little movie of this interview. Actually, we'll put that in there. How is that? Is it being embedded in the PDF file, or is it just being referenced out to something separate? And let me try to make that clearer for the viewers and listeners. A typical PDF is measured in K. It's just not they're typically not that big, but video files are typically measured in a lot bigger. So does my PDF suddenly bloat up to 4, 5, 6 meg because I've embedded the video?
It will bloat up because you've embedded the file. So the new PDF really physically contains those documents. And so when you email it to somebody, they actually get the real file inside the PDF as opposed to just a link.
Okay. I mean, that's nice because that certainly facilitates emailing or sharing via FTP or Dropbox or iCloud or whatever.
Right.
So if you embed, let's go another direction. If you embed, say, an Excel file, do I have to have Excel on the other end to open it?
You don't actually on a Mac. Well, to physically open it and edit it, you do. But to preview it, it will actually open in direct document preview. You can, just like for an email attachment, you can preview it before opening it. And you could do the same in PDFpen. So you'll be able to see the contents of an Excel document through the Apple's live preview.
It would be sort of like being emailed an Excel file. You can open it with whatever you have that happens to be capable of opening Excel files.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same thing.
Okay, so yeah, that's a very fair point because we all probably have something that is capable of at least opening an Excel file. let's say something a little more specific, like I don't know, Illustrator, Photoshop. Photoshop's tough because you probably have something open in Photoshop, but say an Illustrator document. I guess I'm asking, what is it actually embedding? Is it embedding a preview? It's embedding the file, so if I do have Illustrator, I could open it up.
Yeah, it's just embedding a file. So either to be able to see the contents of a file, you either have to have an application that can open it, or it has to fall within the realms of Apple's internal previewing capabilities to be able to preview the contents. So it's just the same as getting any email attachment.
Okay. It just packages it up nicely and puts it for reference in your PDF where you want it.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool. That really is. Is that something that's built into the PDF standard, or is it something that you all have been able to squeeze in yourselves?
It's part of a standard and has been supported by Adobe for quite some time. It is not supported by Apple's preview application. So if you do use these in a PDF and send it to somebody with a Mac, you will need to tell them to use Acrobat or Reader to be able to open the files, or download a copy of PDFpen is even better.
Well, but that's great that you do have it so that it's not required to send to another PDFpen user, and especially if they happen to be on a PC, then kind of all bets are off for that option. Okay, so we have, let's see, attachments. We have the signatures. I've forgotten the first one. Oh boy, what was the first one we covered?
Oh, we covered digital signatures. We covered file attachments. We covered audio attachments, which are actually their own little thing. So like for the video attachment, you'd have to generate your video and then attach it. The audio attachments, PDFpen actually has that built in. So you can just click a button and record right in PDFpen.
Oh, that's cute. So I'm reviewing the document, see something I don't like, record my note right there and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
And we covered the offline Word export.
That was the one I was
which
missing.
is handy.
Mm-hmm.
And then Excel is also offline, although Excel is for PDFpen Pro users.
Okay, Maia's giving me a cue. Thank you. What's the difference between PDFpen 8 and PDFpen Pro 8, other than the Excel that you just mentioned?
Well, we have added a couple of new things. First of all, forms. So you can create interactive forms with PDFpen Pro. And so we've sort of added a couple extra fun things for people who need to create forms. So the styles for the radio buttons and checkboxes, there are some more visual options for that. So when it gets checked, it doesn't actually have to visually appear as a check. There's some other shapes you can use. And when you're filling out a form, it's nice to be able to just hit the tab button and tab through the fields. And we've added a way to set up that tabbing order pretty simply. So if you, the sidebar where you usually see the document's thumbnails, you can switch that to a new form fields view, and then you can just drag and drop all of your fields into the tab order that you prefer. And so that's pretty simple and fast to do. It was not as simple and fast to do before.
So we have enhancements here for every level of PDFpen user. Obviously the signatures are something that are most likely going to be more for the business user, the advanced user, but something as simple as just being able to dictate a note into a document, I think is fabulous. It means you're not going to clutter up necessarily the document. Which brings up an interesting question as I think about it. So let's say I've dictated that note in, and I send it back to Maia to edit, and Maia says, okay, I'll take that paragraph out since you don't like it. She obviously can edit the paragraph out. Can she also have the power to delete the note, the audio note as well?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. I just,
No, yeah. People on both ends have the power to delete the note if that's what you desire. You might want to put in the note if you don't want it deleted.
Can I lock the audio notes so it can't be deleted?
Not individually. You would need to lock all of the annotations in the document.
Got it. Which you obviously can still do. Which takes us full circle back to that whole immutable PDF thing. So, okay.
Yes.
All right. So we've got new features here at all levels. What kind of upgrade pricing do we have, or pricing in general?
Actually, there is another feature that we've added to PDFpen Pro. It's on the level of creating attachments. So you can create PDF portfolios. So that is say if you're sending a whole batch of PDFs in a bunch of different folders because they're all sort of on the same topic. Instead, you can just create a portfolio where you have a nicely packaged PDF that is multiple different files, and it's easy to navigate through those files. You don't actually need to pull them out into Finder or anything. And so PDFpen can do that. It can create them and open them and save out files if someone else sends you a portfolio. PDFpen Pro. I hope I said that.
Yeah, PDFpen Pro. So if I receive a portfolio, and what happens if I open it in Preview?
Preview can't handle portfolio documents at all.
Okay, so I have to be sending this to another PDFpen user.
PDFpen or Acrobat user.
Or Acrobat. Okay.
Yep. Or Reader.
Does it show a table of contents kind of thing for what documents are in the portfolio?
Yeah, it's a table of contents, which is a little bit like a file system, which shows you the documents that are available and the folders that are available within that portfolio. And then you can just choose whichever documents you want to open and work with. Within
reason, obviously. How many? Well, you'll see where I'm going with this. How many folders deep can I decide to have?
You can go fairly deep, but you probably wouldn't. Typically, let's imagine you're going to make a proposal for a business proposal, RFP, or something like that. You typically use a portfolio for that. You'd make an overview document. You'd attach all documents with the related data and the supporting supporting documents, questions, answers, all within that. So you're probably talking about 20, 30 files at most is what you're really going to work with. You can work with many more in it. There's not really a restriction, but that's typically what you're going to do with it.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about including my whole hard drive in a portfolio, but if I want to logically break it out, I can go at least 2, 3, 4 levels deep.
Right, yeah. I've seen it used for board meeting committees and stuff like that. I've seen it used for financial data where you have all the supporting research. I've seen it used for papers for scientific research where you have all of the related content. So it's really about packaging up related stuff. Usually the kind of things you probably put in one folder normally, but here you can just put it all into one document to send it and still retain that nice structure.
I love it when you read my mind. I was thinking specifically of board and committee meeting notes, where you would obviously have a file structure for that kind of thing, and the ability to just package it all up and send it at once would be lovely, instead of having to zip something and hope that somebody knows how to unzip it to the other end. And
right. Then you just have to tell the recipient to use PDFpen Pro or Reader to be able to read the files.
Great. And can they be extracted back out as individual files then at some point?
Yes, they can.
You guys just have all the answers.
We try.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you, Maia, because I missed that one. So let's talk about the pricing, the upgrade and purchase as well.
Sure. So current PDFpen or PDFpen Pro users can upgrade to the version 8 for $30. That's a single user license. If you have a family pack or office pack, you can check our website. If you're a recent purchaser, if you purchased by January 1st or after that, then your upgrade is free. If you're interested in buying it outright, then PDFpen is $74.95, and PDFpen Pro is $124.95.
Obviously, both available at smilesoftware.com. How about on the App Store? Are they on the App Store at this point?
Yes, they were recently available on the App Store. So if you really need the iCloud syncing instead of just iCloud Drive, then you can get the App Store version.
Okay. It seems like we have to ask this question all the time now, but if I had PDFpen 7 through the App Store, how is the PDFpen 8 upgrade handled through the App Store?
Well, whenever the App Store adds the ability to offer upgrade pricing, then we look forward to offering upgrade pricing directly in the App Store. Currently, you can get upgrade pricing through our site, and we can give you the Smile site version.
Okay, so just to be absolutely certain about that, so even if I purchased the App Store version of PDFpen 7, I can come to smilesoftware.com and get the $30 upgrade to PDFpen 8. It's just no longer going to be an App Store version.
Correct.
Got it. Yeah, it's sorry, folks. We have to jump through that all the time just to make sure that everybody is taken care of and understands. And I hope Apple will figure out the upgrade pricing.
No, that's good. That is a point of confusion. We do get emails about that, so it's good to clarify.
Well, it's great that you all give that option, that, I haven't been locked into the App Store model or, required to go the other direction if I don't want to. There are certainly benefits to both sides. So,
yeah.
Well, I ask this question every time you come, and nobody will ever tell me what's coming next from Smile. So I guess we'll just have to wait and have you back on again.
Yep, that's true. I'm not going to leak anything, are you, Maia?
Well, we did talk about those plans for world domination, but then you said not to mention it, so I guess I shouldn't talk about that.
Maia, if you could just tilt your camera down to your desk so we could see what's there, maybe you could get some answers to some of this stuff. Well, hey, it's great to see both of you. Congratulations on another great update to PDFpen 8 and PDFpen Pro 8. I'm not sure I'm going to buy a certificate right off the bat, but the ability to embed files and some of the other are pretty exciting, and the portfolio thing really is exciting. I can see how that would simplify a lot of things instead of trying to drag just attachment after attachment after attachment to an email and then try to send it off. Just package it all up and fire it off in one.
Yeah, it's like a zip for PDFs, except you don't need anything else.
Yeah, good job. Good job.
And if anybody has a really cool way that they're using it, we love to hear about new ways. We know how we expect people to use it, but people are very ingenious. And so if you have a cool new way, then we would love to hear about it.
Okay, folks, there you go. What's the best way to do that, Maia?
Just head to our website at smilesoftware.com, and we've got a contact us page as well as more information about PDFpen.
I know, obviously, Smile has a presence on Twitter as Smile, and I know there's a text expander presence on Twitter. Is there a PDFpen presence on Twitter?
Yes, there's at PDFpen, just like there's an at Smile Software. We do also have a Facebook page, which is General Smile. And we have a YouTube channel, which is General Smile. We have a couple of Google Plus communities, which I think are Smile General and then Text Expander specific. If there's a big call for PDFpen specific, then let us know about that too, and we'll start building that out.
They keep
yes, we're a lot of places now.
Yeah, they keep you busy, don't they? That's good. That's good. Well, it's great to see you both. Thank you so much for coming and explaining all of this, and I hope to have you back again.
Looking forward to it, Chuck. It's great to be back on the show.
Yep. Philip, we got to get you back on more. I know I'm threatening to get Maia over on the Mac jury, but we got to get you back as well. So,
happy to come in. On
my list of things to do. We'll talk to you both soon.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. I'm excited about the PDFpen 8 upgrade and PDFpen Pro 8 upgrade. I hope you are too. I'd like to know how you're using it as well. So when you get in touch with Smile, copy me in. I'm Chuck at MacVoices.com, and I'd love to know. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the MacVoices blog. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, the MacVoices Dispatch, to stay up to date on all the latest MacVoices news from our front page or at macvoices.com/newsletter. Do more with your Apple tech by subscribing to the free MacVoices magazine on Flipboard by visiting macvoices.com/magazine. Advertising and sponsorships handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.